Well, good morning. We'll go ahead and begin our driver media availabilities for the Cheese at 355 at the Glen. We're joined now by driver the number 34 CSX Play It Safe Ford, Chris Buescheer. Chris, with the victory at Pocono, you became the first NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Sunoco rookie to win a race since 2009. It's worth noting your first NASCAR National Series victory came at a road course, Mid-Ohio in the Xfinity Series in 2014. Tell us about your thoughts coming out of Pocono and heading into Sunday's race.
Yeah, it's first of all really excited to be here at Watkins Glen. It's a racetrack that we've run really well at. Just in general, like road racing. I think it breaks up our schedule, something different for us all to do. For the most part, there's we're not road course ringers out there. There's a handful of them that definitely do pretty exceptional compared to others, but. Just leaving Pocono, it was a pretty awesome weekend. Just really good strategy on the part of Bob Osborne, in part due to a cut tire earlier, just trying to avoid a wreck, and ended up cutting the left rear down and put us a little bit off strategy. Just a lot of things came into play and worked out in our favor finally. I mean, we've been through our fair share of bad luck this year, and it's kind of why we even have to talk about making it into the top 30 in points is because we've had three super speedway races that have ended in DNFs and just for the most part out of our doing. Two of them we just got hit in the right rear and just ruined our day, and it's cost us a lot of points throughout the season. So if we look at it now, we're in good shape to be heading forward. Our cars have been a lot better each and every weekend. The last 6 or 7, 8 weeks we've been unloading with a lot better speed. We've been finishing better. We've been running better throughout the race, and when we look ahead, after this weekend, we're going to a lot of places for the second time finally. So we have a good notebook between Bob and myself. With our first year working together, we feel like we have better chemistry now that we should be able to pick up speed here in the next 5 races leading up to the chase.
Excellent. We'll take questions now for Chris. If you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. We'll go right up front to Reed and then Jerry, please.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Congratulations on Pocono.
Thank you.
Now that you've got the win, how confident are you that you can get into the top 30 and stay there for the rest of the regular season? And do you expect more in terms of support from Roush Fenway going forward now that you've got the win and the chase eligibility?
Yeah, I absolutely think we can get in that top 30. Kind of like just hit on, we really shouldn't have been out of it. It's just been some circumstances have gotten us a little bit off track, and from my standpoint, I was trying to add it up in my stock car racing career, starting at 16 when I started racing ARCA. I guess I've had 3 cars that we've had to throw away or at least front clip, and that's a rather small number. And we've gone through 4 this year. So in that circumstance, we've just we've had really bad luck on super speedways this season. It's Trevor, when we were on our way to Utah to go do that road racing class earlier this week, he said, "Man, it looks like you just need a whole lot of bad luck to get one day of good luck." So it kind of turned out that way. And then as we go forward. We've had pretty awesome support from Roush Fenway this year for a lot of the races. We've been kind of half and half on what we're doing, but as we look at the chase coming up here, I think that we will be able to try and step up our program as much as possible. I know when we landed from Utah, our 34 team was still in the shop at 10:30 at night trying to make sure we had the best piece possible for the Glen this weekend. So I know the team's working as hard as they possibly can to make sure that we're running better.
We'll go to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, Performance Racing Network, Kicking the Tires. Along those same lines, for part of my question was, does this open up additional sponsor opportunities for you in the chase if you get in the top 30? Because I know that the car wasn't 100% sold at that point. How does that? Do you think that will help you get more sponsors? And also, what have the meetings been like this past week? Now that with that win under your belt, how much media pressure and stuff have you had over the past few days?
As far as meetings go, I haven't. I don't think I haven't sat down in one yet. We've stayed traveling, so we left Pocono Didn't celebrate the slightest bit. Got back to the bus. It was TP'd. We cleaned toilet paper off after it got rained on, got on a plane, went out to Utah for the next day and a half, and then from there we came back, and I'm pretty sure I've spent Wednesday and Thursday on the phone, basically, just doing interviews straight through to the next one, and it's a really good problem to have. I've killed my battery phone twice in one day now. That's a new record for me. It's been wild how everything has played out, and really just haven't had time for it to settle in and feel like we won a race. It's been so crazy, but we're heading in the right direction now, and we can talk about that top 30 in points and getting in the chase. We're going to get there. We've definitely been on the right trend, and working towards getting out of that hole that we've been in for quite a while, knowing that we wanted to get in that top 30 in case something did come up, and we're able to take full advantage of circumstances of a race.
Dustin Albino, front stretch. Chris, a lot of drivers always talk about how long it takes to sink in for their first win. How long did it take to sink in, and what's been different about this week?
I don't think it has yet, just because of how busy we've stayed. Really haven't had time to just relax and settle in yet. Haven't really gotten to go see any of my friends that would usually be talking about it or pumped up about it. It's been from one outing to the next, and all about trying to make sure we're better for the Glen here this weekend. So all of the RFR drivers and Landon and myself were out in Utah, just practicing, doing a little bit of shifting in some Mustangs, and then coming back. Like I said, I've been on the phone so much. There's no time to really sit down or go see anybody for lunch even. It's been wide open. So I'm imagining we give it next week as we have that off weekend. Going home, go see some family, and we'll be able to relax and really let it set in then.
We'll go to Jim, then Lee.
JimUnderMotorsport.com. Obviously, being a rookie this season, but also going to an organization that you knew ahead of time was not one of the top organizations in the Cup Series, was a win kind of where was a win on your list of possibilities? Did it even was it even on your radar? And I have a quick follow-up after.
Yeah, it was our main goal at the beginning of the season when Bob and I sat down for I think for the first time, to really get to know each other. I've worked with him very little, just through some R&D testing several years ago. Haven't had a whole lot of interaction, so we sat down, talked about what we were going to do this season. We were both really excited to be working together, and we set our goal right there, that the goal was to make the chase. And we knew that would include either being really good in points and really consistent through the season, or getting a win. So, it was not something that we just discounted and said we're not worrying about. That was our goal from the start.
And secondly, you probably were aware that even before the race was called and afterwards, a lot of your fellow competitors said some very nice things about you, about getting this opportunity and being the winner. A lot of times other guys aren't happy when other people win, but what did that mean to you, that both before, during, and after the race?
That was really cool. Just considering how competitive this sport is and how cutthroat it is most of the time, to be able to see everybody come by and congratulate. A lot of them were a little bit early to the punch, saying congratulations. I was like, look, I'm not getting my hopes up yet. This is not over. We're just sitting out here in fog right now. There's no rain. The track's still dry, and they said, we're done. We're done. Everybody seemed to know a lot better than I did, and I did realize that once they did call it, half the guys were already changed and in street clothes. Landon was one of the first ones to me, and he was showered and in normal clothes already. So they must have known something I didn't. But it is really cool to see so many of them come by. Brad Keselowski, as soon as the red flag came out, came by the car and obviously said that he wanted to get it, but if it didn't go back green, that he was happy for us. For Tony Stewart to come by, David Reagan, who's been a great friend of mine, and him and his whole family have helped me a ton just to get in this situation, to be able to compete for Cup wins. Chase Elliott came by and said congratulations. Greg Biffle, just a lot of guys that came by and just said good job. It's special to be able to break it up a little bit. In the season, I know we're going to throw a wrench at a lot of people's brackets for the Chase, but it's going to be a pretty wild ride to the end, and just glad that that a lot of people are appreciative, and there's a lot of guys that deserve to get their first win as well, and they're definitely getting there. We happen to play the circumstances out a little bit better at Pocono.
We'll go up front here to Lee, and then to David.
Lee Spencer, motorsport.com. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you talk about why it was necessary for you to go to a road course racing school? Why, what is it that they saw in your program that they thought you may need to improve on?
I think when we talk about road racing, we know that none of us are experts. So we went out there, Landon, myself, Trevor, Ricky, and Ryan and Bubba were out there as well. They were out there Monday while we were running our race, so they went separate. But it's not necessarily a thing that we know we need improving in a certain area. It's with a lot of commitment from Ford to try and improve their road racing program in general, to be able to have a school that we can go out to. We had other drivers that are road course ringers on the Ford side. So Billy Johnson, who is currently driving a Ford GT and a Mustang. Brandon Davis was out there, who actually ran with the Rulo brothers on the ARCA side with me for a handful of races, and is extremely good on road courses. Just those two guys out there, and a couple more, just trying to help us tune into anything that we can. Those Mustangs, they were Boss 302 Mustangs. They're not going to drive like a stock car, but at the same time, they have a lot of different characteristics that are exaggerated of what we would usually feel. So you can adjust, and you can figure things out that will play over to this side.
And at the start of the season, Roush said that they were going to support you, and I think there was talk that you pretty much would be part of the Roush stable as far as having their equipment and such. That hasn't always been the case this year. Given that you're the only Roush driver, so to speak, not even locked in yet, but with the best opportunity to be locked in, do you kind of know that the support will be there from them from now through the Chase?
Yeah, I appreciate the positive thinking on the locked in part, but we'll get there. We look at this season, and it has been really good for us. It's been a great rookie season, and I've been learning a lot. And so we have been in different cars on different weeks. But when we look at the schedule coming up here, really we've had it in place to start working in more support, and we've been working on building cars as similar as possible. Front Row Motorsports has made huge investments to be able to copy as closely as possible what the Roush cars are doing for body stuff, for chassis stuff, and the race cars have gotten better. And so on that side of things, we're naturally having better cars brought to the racetrack at the end of the or as we get into this part of the season anyway. But I think that we look at these next 5 races, there's definitely opportunity to have as much support as possible. It's been open book between both organizations this season. We've been sharing everything that we can. All of our meetings are integrated after practice and after race day. When we do our Tuesday meetings, we're pretty much all involved and all working towards the same thing now. So I don't feel like it's something that's really going to be changing a whole lot. We're just gonna do it to the full extent that we have available right now.
We'll go to David, then finish with Chris.
David Scott from the Charlotte Observer. Chris, how much confidence do you get from winning, and then how might you be able to use that in the car when you're actually out driving?
It's always big to be able to pull off a win and get that first one out of the way. And I remember it on the Xfinity side, winning at Mid-Ohio. I'm not a road course racer by trade. That's not how I grew up. But it brought in a new confidence for every racetrack that we went to going forward. We still had a lot to learn on the ovals then, and we actually didn't even get our first oval win in 2014. We had to wait till the next year, but It's just a matter of getting the team jacked up, everybody on the same idea going forward that this is for real. This is a big moment. This win with the chase being the way it is, and with the point system being different from the Xfinity side, the last year's Xfinity side, a win basically turns our whole season around. It changes everything. It's no longer one win and you move up a spot or two in points. It's one win, you potentially have a spot in the playoffs of our sport. We are not there yet because we have to get into that top 30. And, with that win, it gets everybody excited to get to that point. And that's why when we landed from Utah at 10:30, and I get a picture as soon as we land from Car Chief that they're still in the shop working, digging. Car's still in primer, and show up the next morning, it's wrapped, it's off the chassis dyno. I mean, they're hustling, and everybody's working extremely hard to make sure that we make this chase, and we're going to get there. I have a ton of confidence in these guys, and I really like where our program's been heading. Previous to Pocono, we've been on the right path, and we're going to be able to make up those points, no problem.
We'll finish up front here with Chris.
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Congratulations on the win. A lot of Sprint Cup Series drivers have elected to run the Xfinity Series race this weekend. I know that there was some discussion that you wanted to get back in the Xfinity Series at some point. Is there any plans to do that, maybe with the chase? And was there any consideration for you to run the Xfinity Series race this weekend?
Yeah, it's Trevor beat me to it. So he's riding the 60 car this weekend to get some more experience for him, and I was looking at practice, and it looks like they fired off pretty good. So I would love to run more Xfinity races. I feel like you see a lot of guys do it, and they say it benefits them. I say that, and then on the other side of it, we look at the schedules right now, and I don't remember where it was. It wasn't but a couple weeks ago. It's 5 minutes after one practice, you're into the next one, and that leaves no time to debrief on either side. So you end up sacrificing one or the other heavily, or both slightly, in my opinion, on that one. So, I want to make sure that we're focused on our Cup program as much as we can be, just how we were focused fully on the Xfinity side last year when I subbed in for these 6 races in the 34 car. We would cut practice short just to be able to debrief and get over to the next garage area in time so that we did not hurt our main focus. So, for me, if we did run Xfinity races this season, it would be hard to get that 110% focus needed to go out there and really make it worthwhile. But if we had 5 to 10 of them come up to the point where we could go run them, I've said all year long I'd love to do it. We just haven't had everything fall into place quite yet.